Hi everyone, my name is Amy, and I want to share my story with you. When I met Tony, I thought I had found my soulmate. We shared a deep connection, and our love seemed unbreakable. But there was always something troubling our happiness. My in-laws, Robbie and Paula, they never seemed to like me, no matter how hard I tried. It hurt me deeply because I wanted nothing more than to be accepted into their family. I would talk to Tony about their behavior, hoping he would understand and support me. I need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me, I'd say. It's about your parents' behavior towards me. They constantly belittle me and make me feel unwelcome, and it's been hurting me deeply. "Oh, come on, babe, you're taking it too personally," Tony would respond. "They're just like that sometimes, you know how they are." "But why? I don't understand. I've tried so hard to be part of their family, to win their acceptance." "Look, it's not worth dwelling on. They have their quirks and you shouldn't let it get to you. Just let it go." "But it's hard. I want to feel like I belong, like I'm accepted. Their constant belittlement hurts me, and I can't ignore it anymore. Can't you at least try to understand and support me? I've known them my whole life, my love. Trust me, this is just how they are. You're making it a big deal out of nothing. Just let it go, okay? It's not nothing to me. I'm your wife, and I deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. I need you to stand by my side and address this issue together. I don't know what you want me to do, my love. They're my parents, and it's not easy for me either. Can't we just focus on our own happiness? Our happiness shouldn't come at the cost of me being constantly belittled and disrespected. I need us to be a team, to address the issue together and find a way to make it better. I'll talk to them, but I can't promise that things will change. Just don't expect too much, okay?" "Thank you, baby. It means a lot to me that you're willing to try for me. I just want to be accepted and respected, that's all." Despite their negativity, Tony and I built a strong and loving relationship. We supported each other through thick and thin, and I thought that our love would be enough to overcome any obstacle. Little did I know that Robbie and Paula's dislike for me would have far-reaching consequences in our relationship. On my birthday, my parents surprised me with a new luxurious car. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it shining in the driveway. Excitement and gratitude overwhelmed me as I hugged my parents tightly. However, when Robbie and Paula found out about the car, their reactions were surprising. They were suddenly interested and asked how my parents could afford such an expensive gift. "Annie, we couldn't help but notice the new car in your driveway. How did your parents manage to afford such an expensive gift?" they inquired. "Oh, it was just a surprise from them for my birthday. They're pretty well off, I guess," I responded. "Well, that's quite impressive. It must be nice to have such generous parents." "Absolutely, we're so happy for you. You know, we've always wanted the best for you." "Thank you. It's just the car, but I appreciate your kind words." "No, Emmy, it's more than just a car. It's a symbol of your success and the life you deserve. We've always believed in you, even if it didn't seem that way before." It felt strange, but I hoped it meant they were finally accepting me into their lives. As time went on, Robbie and Paula's behavior towards me took a surprising turn. They went from being cold and distant to treating me with warmth and affection. They would greet me with genuine smiles, ask about my day, and even go out of their way to do small acts of kindness. Paula would prepare my favorite dishes when we had dinner together, and Robbie would offer to help with household chores without being asked. At first I was taken aback by their sudden change of heart. It was as if they had flipped a switch and the air around us felt different. They seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me and engaging in conversations about my hobbies, interests, and dreams. They would compliment my achievements and offer encouraging words when I faced challenges. Their newfound kindness extended beyond just words. They would surprise me with thoughtful gifts, taking note of my preferences and surprising me with items they knew I would appreciate. They invited me to family gatherings and included me in their celebrations, making me feel like a true part of their lives. It was a stark contrast to the past, and I couldn't help but wonder what had caused this change. Part of me wanted to believe that they had finally come to see the real me, that our relationship was finally blooming. But another part of me couldn't shake the feeling that there was an ulterior motive behind their sudden shift in behavior. However, whenever doubts would creep into my mind, Tony was quick to dismiss them. He assured me that this was just how his parents were, that I had misunderstood their intentions all along. He painted a picture of them as kind-hearted individuals who had been misunderstood, and he encouraged me to give them a chance. Tony's words planted seeds of doubt in my mind, making me question my instincts. I wanted to believe in their change of heart. I longed for a harmonious relationship with my in-laws, and I craved the love and acceptance that seemed to radiate from them. So, against the nagging voice in my gut, I allowed myself to be drawn into their web of apparent affection. I embraced their gestures, hoping that this newfound closeness would be a turning point for us. As Robbie and Paula continued their acts of kindness, Tony's behavior towards me started to change. He became increasingly distant, spending less time at home and showing less affection towards me. The once strong bond we shared seemed to be fading away, and it left me feeling confused and hurt. "Babe, I've noticed a change in your behavior towards me. Is something bothering you? Did I do something you don't like? Can we just talk about it instead of you icing me out?" "What are you talking about? Everything's fine. You're overthinking things again." "No, it's not in my head. I feel like you've been distant and less affectionate lately. I want us to have an open and honest conversation about it." "Look, there's nothing to talk about, okay? You're imagining problems that don't exist. Can we drop it already?" "But I can't just ignore how I'm feeling. I need you to listen and understand what I'm going through. Please, let's discuss this." "I don't have time for this, Amy. It's all in your head. I'm fine and we're fine. End of conversation." "Tony, I'm trying to reach out to you to share my feelings and find a resolution together. It hurts that you're dismissing my concerns like this." "Stop being dramatic. There's nothing to talk about. Now, since we're done with this conversation, I'm leaving to go meet with some of my buddies. I'll see you later." "We are not done. Come back." His dismissive attitude left me doubting my own instincts and questioning whether I was reading too much into the situation. I desperately wanted to believe that everything was fine, that it was just a temporary phase. I clung to the hope that our love was strong enough to overcome any obstacles we faced. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Tony's avoidance and lack of emotional connection spoke volumes, leaving me with an overwhelming sense of loneliness. I yearned for the affection and understanding we once shared, but it seemed to slip through my fingers just out of reach. The more Tony distanced himself, the more isolated I felt. I would try to engage him in conversation, seeking comfort and support, but he would be preoccupied with other things or dismiss my attempts at communication. It was as if a wall had been erected between us, and I couldn't break through, no matter how hard I tried. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself longing for the love and connection we once had. I wanted him to confide in me, to share his struggles and fears, but he remained tight-lipped, shutting me out of his world. It was a devastating blow to my heart, leaving me feeling abandoned and unimportant. One day, Robbie and Paula came to our house to visit me. After a couple of minutes of idle chit-chatting, Paula and Robbie looked at each other. I asked them if everything was all right. "Is everything all right? Do you need me to get you guys something to eat?" No, we came here to talk to you about something." "Oh, tell me, what's wrong?" "Well, we're in a tough situation right now with our current flat. Our landlord increased our rent, and it's becoming too expensive for us to afford. Yeah, it's putting a strain on our finances. We were wondering if you'd be willing to help us out." "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Inflation and greed tend to make you struggle a lot. Don't worry, I could help you with a few months' rent while you find a more affordable place." "Well, actually, we were thinking about something bigger. What if you could help us buy a house?" "Oh, buying a house is a big commitment. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Let me discuss it with Tony and think it over." "It's okay, Amy. Take your time to consider it. We appreciate you even considering our request." At that moment, I began connecting the dots about their nice behavior towards me. I slowly realized that they may have been buttering me up so that they could ask me to buy them a house. I knew that I was more than capable of helping them buy a house, but I was worried that as soon as I gave them the money for it, they would go back to treating me the way they always did. That night, I anxiously waited for Tony to come back. I was confused about what to do. On one hand, I wanted to help them considering how nice they were being to me. At the same time, I had this nagging gut feeling that something was not right. When Tony got home, I brought up his parents' visit over dinner. "I've been thinking about your parents' request, and I have to be honest with you. I'm apprehensive about sending them money for a house. I'm worried about the risks involved, and I don't want to put myself in a vulnerable position." "Amy, they're my parents, and they're struggling. We should help them. This is what families do for each other." "Well, yeah, but I can't ignore my gut feeling. I've seen how they treated me in the past, and I'm afraid they'll go back to their mean ways once I transfer them the money." "You're being selfish. They're in a difficult situation, and we have the means to help them. It's the right thing to do." "Well, you know what? If you feel so strongly about it, then maybe you should be the one to help them. If you're certain they won't mistreat me or take advantage of me, then you can support them financially." "What? You're putting this on me? They're my parents, but we're a team, Amy. We're in this together." "Right. I haven't been feeling like we're a team for a while now. I'm going to bed. Good night." I locked myself in our bedroom, leaving him to spend the night on the couch. Emotions overwhelmed me, ranging from sadness to anger, as I realized that the man I loved had chosen his parents over our relationship. The next morning, I woke up to a surprise. Tony had prepared breakfast, hoping to make amends for his behavior. "What's all of this? Breakfast smells delicious. I'm sorry about last night. I shouldn't have dismissed your concerns. What happened, babe? Why were you acting that way?" "My parents have been pressuring me for months to help them out financially. They've been relentless, and it's been weighing on me. I wasn't in a position to help, and I felt embarrassed to ask for your assistance, so I distanced myself." "You don't have to face this alone. We're a team, remember. We can find a solution together." "I know, my love. I'm sorry for shutting you out. I was overwhelmed by their nagging, and it clouded my judgment. It's okay. We can figure this out. Let's sit down and talk about how we can help your parents without compromising our stability." I finally understood his distant behavior. We decided to move forward together, and I chose to help Robbie and Paula. Deep down, despite my decision to help Robbie and Paula, I couldn't shake off my reservations to protect myself. I reached out to my father for advice. He suggested a safeguard using my credit card for the transaction. This way, I would have a whole month to reverse the payment if anything went wrong. It provided a glimmer of reassurance amid uncertainty. With this knowledge in mind, I contacted Robbie and Paula, informing them that the money had been sent. However, the unexpected silence only intensified my suspicions. It was strange that they didn't respond promptly. Doubts began to creep in, and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. Had I made a mistake? Were Robbie and Paula taking advantage of my trust? Questions swelled in my mind as I anxiously waited for their reply. Something felt off, and I couldn't ignore my gut instinct warning me of potential trouble ahead. I decided to visit them, hoping to get some clarity. When I arrived at their place, I was stunned to find Tony's car parked there as well. Confusion washed over me as I rang the doorbell, and Paula opened it. "Paul, I've been trying to reach you both for hours. I wanted to let you know that I sent the money as we discussed. What's going on?" "Oh, I knew you had sent it. I just didn't feel like talking to you." "What happens? What's going on? I saw Tony's car outside. Can we please talk about this?" "Wait outside. I've got something for you." As I stood outside the flat, my heart pounded with a mixture of confusion and worry. Here, take these." "Why? Why are you giving me these?" "None of us ever liked you. We got what we wanted from you, and now we're done. We never want to see you again." A wave of sorrow washed over me, engulfing my entire being, as Paula handed me those divorce papers. It felt like a crushing weight on my chest, stealing the air from my lungs. The absence of remorse pierced through me, deepening the wound of betrayal. I pleaded with her to let me speak to Tony, desperate for answers. He finally appeared at the front door, his demeanor cold and detached. "Tony, is it true? Do you want a divorce?" "Yes, I do. My parents have opened my eyes to your true nature. You've always villainized them." "I never meant to vilify them. I shared my concerns, but I never wanted to tear our relationship apart. You've pushed me away with your distrust. They showed me who you are." "Tony, please, let's talk about this. We can work through it. We can find a way to rebuild what we had." "No, it's over. You need to leave our house and never come back." It was a devastating blow, shattering the love and trust we had built together. Driving home with a heavy heart, my sorrow slowly transformed into a burning rage. I realized that I had underestimated the depths of their deception. It was time for me to take matters into my own hands and seek revenge on those who had caused me so much pain. I immediately contacted my bank, explaining the situation and initiating an authorization reversal. Within a couple of days, the money was back in my account. It seemed Robbie and Paula got the message as they arrived at my doorstep, banging and demanding to be let in. Reluctantly, I allowed them inside, curious to hear their distorted version of events. "Why are you on my property?" "You think you're innocent. You took advantage of us first. First of all, please lower your volume. Secondly, no, you have it twisted. It was you who took advantage of my kindness. This is why we didn't like you, Amy. You're a disgrace and the biggest problem in everyone's life." "Paula, you have no right to speak to me that way. I have endured enough mistreatment from both of you, and I will not tolerate any more." "Amy, please think over it again." "Oh, wow, so you can be nice, huh? Have you managed to see things clearly without your parents' help?" "Yumi, please, I'm begging you. We've already given our 1 month's notice, and if you don't help, we'll be homeless." "Fortunately, that's not my problem. You all made your choices. Here are the signed divorce papers. Now, please leave my house and never return. Please think about what you're doing. You can't be this heartless. This is not the woman I fell in love with." "You're right. I'm not the woman you fell in love with. You and your parents killed her with your hatred and actions. I wish you guys the best of luck. Goodbye." At that moment, I found strength I didn't know I possessed. As the story drew to a close, I can proudly say that I had emerged victorious. My revenge was not in stooping to their level, but rather in reclaiming my dignity and independence. I learned to trust my instincts and stand up for myself, breaking free from the toxic web of deceit that had ensnared me for far too long. In the end, I found solace in knowing that I had the power to rise above their betrayal. Life has a funny way of teaching us lessons, and this experience taught me the importance of self-worth and resilience. I moved forward, leaving behind a painful chapter and embracing a future filled with newfound strength and determination.